Hello and welcome to my first video blog. My name is Anil Sedha and I'm a virtualization professional. I also have expertise in storage technologies. I have done a lot of work around virtualization since about 2000, and today I'm going to talk about specifically my experience virtualizing Oracle ERP on VMware. And the biggest thing I want to talk about specifically is not just the cost benefits, but how easy and how fruitful or how worthwhile it is to virtualize Oracle on VMware. Not many people understand that when you virtualize Oracle on VMware, you not just bring inherent benefits of virtualization, but you lead your organization towards a path of increased flexibility and a lot of agility, and that's what the executives love, because at the end of the day the business has to operate in a way that makes sense from a management standpoint, but from a vision standpoint as well, because each organization really wants to move towards and implement a vision around their IT or around their business plans, and it is important for IT to act as a partner to accomplish those objectives. So specifically talking about what I have done in the past, so there was this major initiative to get rid of the HPUX server platform that we were on, and I had proposed that we virtualize the Oracle ERP on Red Hat Linux, and my midget manager was quite on board on that, and in fact he was quite supportive and actually led the effort with the management group. And obviously he relied on the technology end on myself, and I wanted to make sure that this was a design that was completely worthwhile. And initially it was a little bit difficult convincing some of the application support guys, the application teams, and a lot of other stakeholders, because obviously the Oracle ERP was the lifeline of the business, and nobody wanted it to be messed up. So the concern around virtualization was it would mess things up, and what would happen to Oracle licensing, and what would happen to the agility or the performance of the Oracle ERP. So there were a lot of unknowns. I kicked things off with a prototype of virtualization first, proved it to everyone that it worked, virtualized the rest of the environment, and everything was good. And then in the middle of things, midway through the project, I kind of started putting across an architecture from a storage standpoint, because one of the things that you've got to remember is you've got to have a really good storage design to accommodate for performance in the virtualization environment. When you don't accommodate for storage performance in your virtualization architecture, you may leave a gap. And the reason I say may leave a gap is because not all environments are complex, not all environments require top-notch performance, and some environments have way more resources than what we would need. So performance issues don't really crop up in those situations. But for organizations that are tightly budgeted, they have limited scope of either change of direction, change of resources, or even staffing can kind of really cause a concern. So getting back on track, I first of all had a discussion with the application support team on the disk architecture, and we all came together on certain disk architecture platforms, and then we moved on towards upgrading the vSphere instance to 4.1, and this was virtualization in 4.1 of the Oracle ERP, so this was a little while back. A few years back, in fact, and I had virtualized the entire environment to 100%. Not one single physical server was left. So going back, so the first test was to kind of do the design. So did that design, discuss the storage aspects, kind of created the cluster separately for the ERP platform, built some ESXi servers in there, ESX servers in there at that time, and kind of finished up with the bare bones design, and then came on to starting the installation of ERP onto those VMs. And obviously, as the environment was being developed, the requests ballooned. All of a sudden, the application team wanted one full environment besides what we had configured for them. And we didn't anticipate doing that, but that was a lot of effort because obviously now they want everything. The benefits of virtualization do factor in, and I was able to make clones. In some cases, just spin off new VMs right away using templates. The resource pools are quite important, and luckily I had implemented them right up front with the architecture. So things were kind of quite stable from that perspective, and if there were any lack of resources, things would move around, kind of shuffle and kind of balance themselves out. Obviously, failover was a big concern, and Oracle licensing was a concern. So the host configuration was done accordingly to make sure that all processors were licensed appropriately, and Oracle databases would run on selective nodes and all that stuff. Having moved from that, came to the point where we would do stress tests, and all of a sudden there was this huge Oracle database performance issue, and we started looking. One thing to do obviously is to do an end-to-end monitoring when you're doing a performance test. So many people just rely on their VMware tools or the storage tools, but look at the operating system. If you're using a Linux-based operating system, great. Windows has certain limitations in terms of its tool set, but Linux VMs give you great flexibility to monitor performance, and then set up your tools on the ESX or the hypervisor level, then set up something for the storage level. If network is a concern, maybe you set up some network tools. I am a big fan of SAR, System Activity Reporter, so I set that up as well, and obviously used a few freebies from the internet to run selective performance data collection. And after doing an end-to-end test, I was able to kind of isolate specific areas of the environment, saying that, okay, storage is not a problem because these are the metrics, these are the graphs. The ESXi host is not a problem because these are the graphs from the VMware environment. And obviously the VM, how it was performing, I was able to articulate that. Finally, I had the Oracle database administrator, our DBA, check on a few things from a memory standpoint on the database itself. And we found that Oracle had a best practice documentation around memory setting. So after he made some tuning on the Oracle database, things worked fine, and there was no change needed on the system side at all, or the environment side. So that led us to kind of a great success. We go live came, and we kind of went live without any glitch. Things were up and running, and there was no, and I reiterate, no issue at all, and that was like a fabulous go live. One of those dream go lives that you think of, where no problem is going to happen and everything would work as expected. There is a lot of effort that actually went behind the scenes. Multiple tests were done. Simulation was done of go live ahead of time 2-3 times. So we kind of went through the motions to make sure that there was enough analysis done in terms of what would fail, how, and what functionality would not work, or if it would work, if the application required reconfiguration of peripheral devices like printers, considering that it was an ERP, some scanners that we had for barcode scanning, and a few other things as per the application requirements. So we went through all of those motions, virtualized Oracle on it. We saw massive benefits. So first of all, $600,000 of cost savings every year. That was huge for the organization. Then moved away from an old, aging HPUX architecture to brand new servers running on Dell hardware, EMC storage, and Red Hat Linux as an operating system platform. Brought about Oracle and ERP performance improvements, literally to the extent of about 40 to 60%, depending on what was being run, and things were very fast. That allowed to virtualize other things as well at a much faster pace, because the business had tremendous confidence in the solution now, and they were on board with almost everything that we were going to throw at them. And finally, within a matter of just about another 3 months, we fully finished virtualizing everything in our organization. That was 100% virtualization and a huge success. So just wanted to share this story with you guys, and if you're virtualizing Oracle on VMware, feel free to do so. If you have any questions, reach out to your VMware or either a partner or VMware directly. If you have any questions for myself, just to kind of get some knowledge sharing or take advice from based on past experience, feel free to reach out to myself. I'm a blogger. My blog is virtualascetic.com, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.